Alright, let's cut straight to the chase. We'll make this a quick video. Team composition. We all know it's important in a game like Overwatch, and we all know it's important in a traditional MMO where you need a healer, a tank, and a mage in your party. But is it important in Monster Hunter? Absolutely yes. It's one of the most important things you can learn, and it's also something that a lot of new players overlook. A lot of times with a new player, they choose a weapon, and they stick to that weapon like glue. And you'll see a new hammer user walk into a lobby, and there will be 2 other hammer users in that lobby, and he won't see a problem. But the truth is, there's a big problem. You see, every weapon in Monster Hunter, it's optimized to attack the monster in a certain way. If you're a hammer user, you should be attacking the monster's head. This is because the hammer does KO damage, which means if you attack the monster in the head long enough, you have a chance to stun that monster. Now, the problem with having multiple hammer users is that you're going to interrupt each other's attacks. In Monster Hunter, it's possible to hit another player. Now, this doesn't do any damage, but it does interrupt their attacks and lower their DPS. So if you have 2 players going for the same zone on the monster, a lot of times you're going to find that they're conflicting. A hammer user and a longsword both going for the head. The hammer user is either going to launch the longsworder, or the longsword user is going to launch the hammer user. It's just going to happen eventually, and every time that happens, it's going to lower your DPS. So, 2 things you need to do. 1, if you see that there's already a hammer user, choose a different weapon. The second thing you need to do is call zones. Certain weapons have priority. So a hammer always has priority on the head. If you're a longsword user, you can't call priority on the head if there's a hammer user. That doesn't make any sense. If you're a hammer user and you're attacking the monster in the ass, you're doing it wrong. If you're a longsword user and you're attacking the monster in the head, you're doing it wrong. Okay, at least in a party setting where you have a hammer user. Now, if you don't have a hammer user, then that priority would shift to the hunting horn. If you don't have a hunting horn user, then that priority shifts to whoever calls it, right? Now, if you're a gunner, you can call any zone on the monster and not have to worry about conflicting with the other players. That is, unless you're using pellet shots, crag shots, or cluster shots. Those are shots that cause explosions or spread and interrupt other players. But normal shots, elemental shots, piercing shots, if you're aiming them right, you should never be interrupting another player. So, if you go into a lobby and you see that there's someone there that's already using a weapon that is going to target the zone of the monster that you had planned on targeting, change your weapon. Now, you may be best with the hammer, or you may be best with the lance, but if you're interrupting another player, you're bringing the whole team down. You might be getting great DPS for you, but if you're interrupting the other players, you're lowering their DPS. And guess what? This is a team game. You have to work together as a team. The only way you're going to get an optimal kill time on the monster is if you're all doing optimal DPS. So, choose your weapons carefully, talk to your teammates. Talk to them in the lobby before the hunt, and make sure everybody's on target. Everybody knows what the plan is. Once you engage the monster, call a zone. If there's no hammer user, then sometimes it's unclear who has priority on the monster's head. So, call it. If you're a greatsword user and you're planning on attacking the monster's face, then make that call so that the switch axe user or the longsword user knows what's up. They know where you're going to be and they're not going to interrupt you. If there's already a hammer user, that hammer user is going to have priority on the monster's head. So call the tail so you can get that tail cut for your team. Starting to make sense? I hope so. And you know, a lot of this you'll figure out as you play. But the real takeaway here is talk to your team and call zones. Now I'm going to add one more thing to this. There's going to be times when you're going to be matched with random players. And they're not always going to follow the rules. You're going to go out on a hunt and you're going to see the hammer user attacking the monster in the ass, and the longsword user tripping the lancer, and the gunner spraying everybody down with pellets. So, what do? Don't yell at them, don't be rude. There's a lot of players in this game that are experiencing it for the first time because this is the first time it's been on PS4. So I suggest politely explain to them how this game works. Tell them that they need to call a zone. Lead by example, call a zone. Lead by example. If you see that there's a conflicting weapon type, you be the one to choose another weapon. If you're not comfortable using another weapon, ask them if they are. But the most important thing here really is, we're all here to have a good time and we're all here to have fun. I found that this game has a really great community, and I'd like to keep it that way. Alright, so that's it. My goal here was to keep this short and simple and to the point, and I hope I've done that, and I hope you've learned something. If you have, this is YouTube, and you know how that works. Click all the things, please. I'm not going to explain it to you. Alright, this has been Strawfoot. Peace out.